It is rare to find so much industry expertise all in one spot, right at your fingertips. The world of public adjusting and insurance claims can be a scary one. This changes now. That's why we built this podcast for you, where all the industry experts converge. Let us be your guide to education and personal growth. You're listening to Because Experience Matters, the show for public adjusters who want to up their game. Hosted by the 2021 Public Adjuster of the Year, Jack Hanks. How much money are you leaving on the table by not knowing all the approaches you can take to maximize the payouts to the insured and profits for your business? On this show, you will discover untapped strategies to become an unstoppable public adjuster and an effective advocate for your clients. In every episode, Jack brings on all the industry big dogs, including leading roofers, contractors, lawyers, accountants, and marketers. You'll access the insider scoop, real case studies, real obstacles, and actionable winning solutions. Let's jump in so that you can stop working hard and start working smart.
All right, guys, Because Experience Matters Season 2. I'm excited today. One of the up-and-coming stars in our little roofing community, Heather Hitchcock, has graciously come on the podcast today, and we've got to know each other a little bit the last year or so. And number one, congratulations on all your success you guys are having.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Number two, thank you for including us in your success. We appreciate working with you guys.
I am excited to be working with you guys.
You guys just got hit with a tornado we had to put this back because we were going to do it. Then you guys got slammed with the pretty
Yes. Yeah, we got literally, we've gotten tornado warnings my whole life. We're a hurricane place, but not tornadoes. Right. So when I saw the warnings, I made a little post like, hey, if you have any wind, call us, having no clue.
Yeah, this is cute, right? All of a sudden, like, oh shit, it's real.
I was like, oh, I think a tornado just hit my community.
Yeah, it was wild. So it's
was.
But I appreciate you calling us on those because it's not just about the roofing. It's about all the structure and the turmoil and the ALE and the business income and all the stuff that a lot of roofing companies fail to address. So we appreciate you doing it the right way.
We appreciate you guys, and I'll give you a little compliment because individually, Preston, who is one of the claims you guys are working with us on, we hadn't even talked. I had already been thinking we need to reach out to you guys. When we talked, he was like, hey, I really want to reach out to Jack. I said, perfect, because that's where I'm going too. So we appreciate you guys doing what you do so people like us can come alongside and help the customer.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Amen, brother.
There we go. So you caught my eye about a year and a half ago on Facebook. We've never met. We never talked. And you posted a photo. And we talked about, we're going to talk about everything today. So we're going to bring this fun stuff up. But okay. You and I have a very similar past. My ex-wife had a lot of the same issues and problems and still does to this day, unfortunately. But we support her and we trust her. We love her and want to be there behind the scenes for her. But she's got to kind of do her own thing. But at the same time, you had a post, and it was I'll never forget this photo as long as I live, Heather. It was you, and it was you had a church function, and it was like a fire, and you're literally on your knees. And it's one of the few photos I've ever seen with so much raw emotion that I could just like, oh my God, something finally clicked, right? And I was very impressed by that, and very, number one, proud and happy for you because I know what a struggle. I don't know exactly what happened, but once again, we all have stuff. If you want to kind of talk about, but that's literally the first thing that caught my eye about you and what you were going through, what you did, and where you're at now. If you can maybe just touch on that a little bit, and we'll just start rolling this thing off from there.
Yeah. So that picture, I love. That's so cool. I had no idea you were going to say that, but So that was actually the first time that I publicly shared like the real dark stuff that nobody wants to talk about because you feel so yuck about choices you've made, things you've done, yada, yada. And so my church, I'm not somebody who grew up in church. I got into church very late in life, but it was the process that helped me get free from the things I battled my whole life. And so that picture was at a women's conference at my church where they had asked me to share my story in front of 600 other women. And so it was very uncomfortable because, that was obviously taken. And then when you look at it after the fact, it's such a weird looking, vulnerable, right? Like it's
Well,
uncomfortable, and it was hard to see, but it's everything that is
yeah,
about why I am where I am today. So it's like, why not
yeah.
show people?
Well, I'm not an expert in psychology or anything, but it looked like a defining moment in your life. And that was pretty cool to share that, because
Thank
not
you.
many people, to be vulnerable on, number one, on social media, man, it's hard because people won't take pop shots, right? It's like, oh God, I'm afraid to post my personal life anymore because like, but
Yeah.
that was, so number one, a lot of credit to you, a lot of
Thank you.
balls. That's pretty cool. So what is the backstory to that? You want to kind of have some fun with this? And let's talk
Yeah,
through it.
like to what degree? I mean, dude, I was back to 12 years old, just a
Okay.
hot mess. I grew up in a family. My parents did the best they can. I honor my family.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I didn't grow up in a dynamic where I felt love. That's
Okay.
the bottom line. And so I started at a very young age.
That in Texas as
Just,
well?
pardon?
Where was that at?
Yeah, in Texas.
Okay.
Well, I was born in New York. My parents moved down here when I was 3 to start a company. And so I've been down here ever since, until high school. High school, they sent me away. I went to live in the wilderness for 2 years at a behavioral modification program
All right.
in Montana.
Wow.
Stayed after I graduated high school, went to college up there. I just battled my whole life. I've battled. It wasn't just alcohol. It was
Sure.
destructive behavior. It
Okay.
was all in here, and it was just like I was screaming for help and didn't get the help I needed, and so I just acted out. And I mean, I'm talking crazy self-destructive ways.
Sure.
So where that came from, and this is just one sliver, but man, I had 5 DWIs since college. So my first one was college. I was driving the wrong way, 45 miles an hour down a one way in my beautiful new A4 Audi stick shift when I was 20 years old. And it just was a pattern, I never was like someone who drank every day. It was like when I put alcohol in my body, it was a 50-50 shot. If I was going to be a total jerk off, crazy lunatic, nobody could tell me nothing.
Right.
So add alcohol and my inhibitions are gone. And I just, I always got in trouble.
Right.
And so this is a lifetime of struggle. I got married with a gym and a business that was a multi-level marketing company. I was in fitness. And when I got divorced, I gave my ex-husband my gym. I took this other business thinking that I was going to have, it was significant money. I mean, $30,000 a month for a multi-level marketing company is good income.
Right.
And some things happened in my life where I lost all of that, spiraled out of control. And that was the last DWI I got. And when I got that DWI, I talk about it loosely now, but like, man, this is years of overcoming shame. I mean, because when you hear someone getting 5 DWIs, like I know what that looks like. I'm looking at someone like, what a loser. Like, I understand that is like, get a grip. And
So my ex-wife has 7 extreme DUIs. Okay.
Wow.
And my family spent
Wow.
millions of dollars on care and programs. And
Yeah.
my DUI attorney has a really nice house in Scottsdale by us. And I'm sure I built a lot of it. So the problem with all this stuff that I don't think anyone actually in the government as well, it's the alcohol, right? That's not the problem. It's the
Right.
mental health behind it of
Right.
why those triggers kept, like you just said, you had a 50-50 shot, right? And that alcohol, all it did was you were looking for help, and that was your way to get help by getting, you needed somebody to grab on you like, hey, Heather, it's not the booze, right? There's
Right.
something else going on here.
Right.
And
And they put me, and I don't knock AA. Like, I know a lot of
Oh,
people
sure.
love AA. I tend to get in some very controversial conversations with people in AA that have lengths of sobriety because,
Yeah,
hey, do what works for you. But I'm
exactly.
someone who was put in AA for a large portion of my life, who wholeheartedly worked the steps, did all the things, and I wasn't okay because alcohol wasn't the issue. The
Right.
issue was brokenness inside. It was my brain, it was my heart, and it was wounds in me that caused me to act out when I drank. So
Right.
yeah, I have a little different mindset and awareness of
Yeah.
getting healed.
Oh, I'm on board with that because my ex, therapy, AA, nothing worked or works. So she would have a great run of 4.5 years.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, like, you know what? Screw it. Boom. And just because the sun came up, right? That's and there's there and until people can find that we all have garbage, right? Like my parents suck. I suck as a parent sometimes. It's just part of it, right?
That's it.
And we all carry that stuff. And a lot of most people don't know how to take that. And like, number one, the shame thing has got to be, I mean, I'm not an alcoholic, but I've been around forever. And what I always see is the shame thing was the most deteriorating emotion.
Yeah.
Because you just felt less than all the time.
Yes.
And then I could tell you, Heather, you're not, and it didn't matter.
That's
right?
it.
Yeah.
That's it. And Jack, so why am I sharing literally what I have this heavy responsibility in my heart and mind on the daily? When I was in that jail cell for that last DWI, and you got to remember, I'm in Texas, brother, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah.
So this last one, I was going to prison. They were done hearing my sob story.
Yeah.
And I just lost the train of thought where I was going with that. But what did you say right before that? Because it was actually really important.
The shame stuff.
Shame. Oh, so what God said to me was, if I get you out of this, you will lose all your dignity to share what I've done for you and what you've overcome and all the progress and the journey along the way. So people's biggest thing is the shame. So why not get it all out there? Show people, look, you're not alone, man. We screw up. Yeah. It's okay. Don't let the shame keeps people in bondage.
Yeah. That's what on the outside looking in, and that's what I can see is the biggest holdback for people. Because I mean, alcoholics and addicts are, number one, the most brilliant people I've ever met. They are brilliant. And I think what happens is, the unbrilliant people, I have it pretty easy, right? Because I can literally watch a football game, have a beer, relax, and I'm good. As long as the Packers win, I'm a happy kid. You know what I mean? I have very little stuff to worry about, right? But I think you can't get out of your own way because you start thinking, and then it perpetuates and perpetuates. Next thing you know, fuck it, I gotta go have a beer, man. I gotta do something because my brain and my heart are going 1,000 miles an hour. I don't know what to do. And then it just boom, boom, boom. And it's like a shotgun firing all the time. And it's a lot, bro.
This thing right here
is
the most powerful thing that can help you go this way or that way. And so now you know me now, but 5 years ago, I was in a mental institution because I tried to kill myself because I literally thought there was nothing left for me to achieve in life. I thought I had done too much bad. There was no hope. I had done too many things. People would never respect me, blah, 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 blah. So it just goes to show you, like, the mind is so deceiving,
Good and bad. And usually it's
good and bad.
Like we care, we outthink ourselves. It's just, we're a small little speck in this big planet, right? And I think we don't understand that we can control our everything, man. Just get out of bed. Some days really suck, right? Some days really suck, and that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. What a story, man. I am so proud of you, number one. Yeah, it's cool. It's exciting. My kids grew up in this environment, and my biggest regret to that whole thing, I was married for about 20 years, and about 15 of those years we were going through stuff like that. And she wasn't around a lot of the times. And, when I started being honest with my kids is when things started turning around and they knew they were okay. I got them in counseling and we talked and we just laid everything on the table. But my biggest regret is I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Like I kept letting my ex pick them up from school and do dumb shit and have kids over. And so they saw a lot of stuff they shouldn't have seen. And that's on me.
Yeah.
But I apologize for that. We talked about it, and they're both thriving. My daughter's going to law school. My son works here. So it's like, man, we had a couple of years because the kids were like, Dad, what the hell are you doing? And they're the ones like, this is stupid. We got to get out of this thing here. So yeah, I finally about 7 years ago, man, I'm like, you know what? Pulled the Band-Aid off, filed for divorce, started my new career. I slept in my towel for a couple of days till my condo was ready. And here we are, man. Yeah. So
I love it, Jack.
yeah. I mean, once again, but I had to make that decision. I was not gonna it's a tornado. The addictions are tornado, man.
Yeah.
And it swirls everyone in, and no, that's what nobody gets. I mean, it's a family disease.
Yeah, it
It
is.
whoops your ass, and it whoops our asses, and it just families and aunts and uncles, and then my family's like, they couldn't grasp, like, what the hell's wrong with you, Hanks? Like, you're you don't snap your fingers, it goes away. You know what I mean? It's something you have to just manage and separate yourself. You can have the love from afar, which is horribly difficult.
Yeah.
But so you were in a mental ward because you tried to whack yourself, huh?
I was seriously so deceived and just was like, I'm done. I hurt so bad and I had lost everything. And I just felt like at that point I was doing my kids more harm than good, which it makes me cry honestly, like when I'm so good, I can talk about any of this stuff and it doesn't affect me. But when I start talking that my mind could ever have gone there, that part still gets me because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that I had nothing good left, that I could never provide for my family again. I went from having everything, being on top of the world, financially, physically, relationally, to in the gutter as the biggest loser. Yeah. And here I was, this pillar of health in the community, teaching people how to be healthy. And I'm in jail because I got my 5th DWI with my son in the car. Like, it was just too much.
I get it. Have you forgiven yourself for all this?
Oh yeah. Great. Oh yeah. It was a long process, and it was very, very intentional. But again, I mean, that's what happens when I put alcohol in my body. If I don't, who you see today is just no alcohol. No alcohol, no Adderall. Heather's great. So it's a non-issue for me today. I don't think about it. I've never thought about it since I quit. Like, it's not like that. To me, it's just like, what do I need to be doing? I don't even get stuck in the like alcoholic, addicted. I don't do all that. Like, what do I need to do for myself to be my best self? That's all it is today. I know what works for me. I know what doesn't. I need to work out. That helps my mental health. I need to put good things in my body. I need to not drink alcohol. There's just things that work and don't work. And once you figure that out, what you're watching in my life happens.
Right. Woo, right? Holy shit.
That's it.
Yeah. How are your kids doing? Are they good?
My kids, and that's why, I just honor you for what you're doing as a dad and for your children. And I don't know all your ins and outs, but what I do know is my children saw a million times more than they ever should have at a very young age, and like picked me up from places, visited me. Yeah. And my children, all 3, are absolutely thriving. There's no secrets. Now, obviously there's discernment when you're talking about situations, but my children saw it. So I've also enrolled them in the redemption. So hopefully they have seen, you can overcome anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And also to not follow the crowd, because for me, it's just a simple thing. Like, I can't do things that lots of people can, and it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you're not missing out on a lot. I trust me.
Oh, I'm so good. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's cool. It's just, man, it's in this business also, there's so much of it. And that's the hard part, because you have to go out and, we market a lot, you market a lot, and you're always doing stuff. And man, it's just, so many people get just, man, they spiral and and you can see it coming, man. Those people on Facebook that you can just watch go, dude, in 2 months, they're going to be in jail. Something's going to go wrong. And you reach out and they're like, no, I'm good. Like, bro, you're not.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We've seen it, right? We've lived it. We're like, we can see that. We know what those tracks look like the next, 18 months or 2 years, whatever, so yeah. And, they're not until you feel it, and you gotta want to be okay, right? You got to want to be okay. You got to get up every morning and go, what? I'm going to do. My biggest thing is, once I'm at the point, we screw up a lot, man. There's going to be a claim. It's not going to get resolved. Shit happens, right?
Yeah.
But I live and get up every morning. You know what? I did the best I could. I wore myself out. We were honest. We have integrity. We did the right stuff. And I'm going to bed.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And that's enough.
Yeah. It is enough. Yes. That's the whole point. It is enough. It ain't about how much money is the bank, how many claims y'all got, or how many nails go on a roof, or all that's the easy part, bro. Right? That's the easy part. So all that goofy nonsense, right? You lived through it, you dealt with it, you became an awesome person. How in the living hell did you become a roofer? Because Heather, I'll give you a list of 18,000 other things to do. They're probably easier. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll appreciate this because it makes sense. I'm so thankful I found roofing. So, okay, I go from, being sick, just to give you context of that MLM, there were 600,000 distributors and I was the top 150 income earners. Okay. So I was making ridiculous money. So I go from up there to food stamps in just a few years because I lived really high. I didn't steward my money well. I was thinking it was going to be there forever. I learned so much in that game. And so I'm depressed, have no money, literally nothing, back on food stamps. I'm renting a carpet cleaner from the grocery store, shampooing old people from my church's carpet for $100. Like, I'm not joking. Talk about like humbling yourself. Okay. Right. In my Tahoe. So crazy. So I had a buddy from high school. He was an adjuster. He had a small residential roofing company, maybe 7 roofs a year. He was like, hey, come sit on site. I'll pay you $600 to run back and forth from Home Depot. It was a tiny $150,000 price point home. He has an insurance claim. He shows me the scope. He tells me how much money it's costing to put the roof on. I'm like, game over. I'm going to sell roofs. So I went to work for 3 local contractors in my area. All of them have been in business 10 to 15 years. I knew nothing. I'm trusting them to train me. I do have discernment. I'm a smart chick, so I figure things out pretty fast.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, this isn't making sense. Like, we're up here with a quarter creating damage, and then we're going to go tell the homeowner they have damage. And then you're telling one of them the deductible is by law has to be collected. And then the other one, you're like, no problem. We don't have to. We'll make it. Just things didn't add up. Right. And I'm not a perfect person. So I'm not trying to paint this like I'm the perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I realized very fast there was zero integrity or excellence in the roofing industry. And so 10 and a half months
public adjusting industry.
See, I'm now getting exposed to this and learning. But so 10 months in, after working for 3 of those reputable contractors, we had an old hailstorm in my area, filed a claim on my personal roof, took the profit, invested it into a roofing training program, had lofty goals, Jack. 1 roof a month was going to let me be okay to take care of my kids. 2 would let me get out of debt. Man, within, I don't know, I really need to sit down and get my timeline so I don't ever look like I'm lying. But with no question, within 6 months, we were doing 2 to 4 a week with no leads. I didn't even know I was doing good. I was just so desperate and hustling. I didn't even know. And so I start posting on stories because I'm just trying to get people to know that I'm in roofing as fast as possible.
Fear is a wonderful motivator, isn't it?
Pardon?
Fear is a wonderful motivator, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you see an opportunity and you understand, if you have a business mindset and you see something that you could really like step in and excel. So it was just a matter of learning the technical side of roofing, which it's not rocket science. Like it's a simple system, at least in residential. I know there's stuff beyond, but that's why I have people like you on board. But yeah, so that was it. And I had no vision. I had no anticipation of growing this to be now what we're doing now. And it's been a wild ride.
So the cool part, where most people fail in contracting and roofing or whatever trade is they're wonderful craftsmen. They're great roofers or drywallers or painters or installers. They don't know how to run a freaking business, and it goes south very quickly. As most public adjusters, as most attorneys, if they can't run a business, it doesn't matter if it's a car wash or whatever, it's going to go south. Yeah, that's a hard lesson. It took me a while to learn that. I was a contractor for 20 years, and I was like, I'd have $1 million one day and like 96 cents the next day. I'm like, what in the living hell is going on here? We have so much work and no money. And it takes a while to learn that, but it was self-taught. And I think the business, it's too easy to become a PA and it's too easy to become a roofer is the problem.
Yeah.
And there's, like you said, there's no training. Nobody talks about how to run a business because it ain't about the shingles and the nails and the felt, and that it's about all the crap that nobody sees behind the scenes that we all do 18 hours a day that I want to kill myself at the same time. But right, that's the hard part. How did you learn that? Just because you have that, you seem to have a business sense about you, not a roofing sense, thank God, number one. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Absolutely. You know, I am I'm a figure it outer, Jack. So everything up until the point that I started getting, you know, resources like people that have been in the industry that were connecting with me to kind of mentor me. I had nothing. I've learned everything off Google. So I just happened to have, which might scare you, but I also check things. So
not learning it off Google, I'll put it that way, right?
Yeah. Well, and so yeah, I think I just have that gifting. You know, I've always had a desire for more. And I think that I have an ability to encourage people and draw people in, and I'm passionate. So it was really easy for me to just get passionate about this. I was really passionate about teaching people because I realized very fast, and you probably know, most every human being who owns a home, their home is their number one investment. The roof being the protective layer of that investment, and 99.99999 have no freaking clue. No clue. So they're trusting Joe Blow to teach them about their roof. So I tried to come with a different angle and let me add some value. Let me teach these people. And here we are.
Well, yeah, so the scary part of our business is it's easy to get in, and then people start door knocking and create BS claims that aren't real. And then we have a big mess.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with the industry is, you know, I started doing this in 92, Heather, when I was very young. Yeah. So it's changed a lot, man. It's been a wild ride watching this, because back in the day, there was no social media. There was no hail trade.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
There's no, all this stuff. There was nobody door knocked, a hailstorm came, and whatever people you had would call you to fix their roof, right? You didn't have all. Yeah. So what happens is in the late 90s or whatever, 2000s, all these hail maps are coming out. People start banging on doors and do more claims. Well, what's going to happen then, right? The insurance company is like, whoa, we're losing our asses over here.
Yeah.
We got to start beefing up our side. So it's a back and forth cat and mouse game that we've been playing for 30 years now. And it's just hard because it's too easy to become this.
It's so easy.
And it scares the crap out of me because, you know, becoming a PA is not rocket science. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. It's very simple. You take a test and you stamp your finger, and they run a background check. And if you don't have any fiduciary felonies, you're a PA. And there should be more to that, because, like you just said, we are dealing with people's largest assets, as well as you are. Their home and their businesses. We all work our butts off to get to that, and all of a sudden, it still baffles me. It's like somebody knocks on your door and you sign a piece of paper giving them the rights to replace your roof using their insurance. What are you thinking? But that's the thing, and that's why it's too easy. And we're trying to, not cleaning up's never going to happen, but just trying to have a different morality, different ethics, and higher standards for all of us, because, man, we got to get this cleaned up. You know, it's bad. All the laws are changing. It's not good.
Well, I mean, and I haven't even, I don't have a frame of reference for what I hear like you guys. All I know is what I have experienced from 3 independent, not connected, legitimate, reputable contractors that have been doing this a long time. They hate me here, Jack, the tornado. And I'm not here to be that like bitter, like I'm going to undercut you, but I absolutely am here to educate homeowners, to teach them how to differentiate, and they can't stand it. They had a post. I say the local roofing communities, all the local roofing companies, when the tornado hit, of these are your local roofers. So call your local roofers. So weird that Royal Roofing never makes that cut.
Well,
but it's cool. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
I take it as that now. I'm just like, listen, I'm going to tell people the truth. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. The damage is there. You don't need to create it. You don't need to take advantage of people. You do the right thing, and you'd be surprised at what comes back to you.
100%, over and over again.
Exactly.
So tell me about the social media stuff, man. So I started doing this about 5 or 6 years ago, accidentally. I'm like,
you're doing good too. You have like a little graphic and everything.
Oh, dude, we're high tech, bro.
I know.
But the Facebook stuff, it's great and horrendous at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's no filter, and a lot of us look like a clown show.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what? It's some of the stuff people post. It's like, I wish there was like a Facebook police and we could censor the shit, but I'd be against, I get the Constitution, right? But it's just, it makes all of us look so bad and so lacking of integrity. And, roofers out there, and they'll videotape doing dumb shit, or they're put on Facebook, and you're talking, same thing you just talked about. It's like, can we not? Because the insurance companies are watching this and going, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot. And since Heather, you're a roofer too, I'm sure you're an idiot as well.
That's it.
Right? And Hank, you're a sucky ass PA because all the other PAs are sucky and they turn in stupid estimates and you're making shit up as you go.
Yeah.
So we're combating all that. And it's, so what was your first, remember your first roofing post at all? Or, because I remember mine, I was like, I have no idea what I was doing. So
I do remember, because, I'm pretty heavy in the stories. And I remember it used to take me like an hour to capture the clip, because it was like, I was so uncomfortable. And now I'm just, it's all day. I think my first post was a roof I did, but I wasn't telling the truth about the post. But the roof was a nightmare, and I was just trying to look like I had my stuff together.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a guy that my first roof as Royal Roofing, I didn't have a frame of reference again of like deliveries. And this might sound crazy and scary, but it's just the truth. I was brand new. So my sales rep, I was just a little, I feel like Pretty Woman in this. Do you know Pretty Woman? When she goes back in and she's like, you work on commission, right? Big mistake. Big, huge. This guy, my first roof, I placed my order early, like 7 days early. Well, apparently it was out of stock. Nobody called me. Nobody told me. I'm assuming it's being delivered. 11 a.m. Roof is torn off. Homeowner's not there. My first roof, Jack. So I'm like, okay. I call him like, hey, and I'm still like learning. Hey, this is Heather, the Royal Roofing. Yeah, do you guys have like an ETA on the material? Long story. Dude never even called me because he just didn't care. And ironically, I saw him last week and I wanted like middle fingers, but that was my first roof. It was painful, but it turned out, thank God.
So social, you post a lot.
Yeah.
Do you ever two parts questions? Do you ever worry that you post too much? Because I do. Yeah. And two, I feel a sense of obligation now to not be an asshole on Facebook.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to be an asshole on Facebook, but I try really not to be, because I feel people like you and myself and a few others I feel a freaking moral responsibility not to be a jackass. Yeah. And it's hard. It's very hard. How do you I try to post something every day, and I try to keep it very you see my stuff. It's like I have a nice glass of wine once in a while, or my kids, or I'm on a roof, or I'm doing whatever. I try to keep it very like that. Yeah. Because I never talk about politics, or because this never goes well, So do you mentally? So I literally, I'll record something without even edit. I throw it out there. I don't want to like think too much, because I would spend all day being like, oh my God, I said the word and instead of but, you know what I mean? So I just like, right? How do you approach that?
Yeah. So I love that, because let me go back to the first one about posting too much. So I used to never post even once a day. Everything I'm doing is on purpose, and it was very uncomfortable. Okay. I also don't know, or I come from an organic background. So there was no algorithm. Right. I didn't know. So I'm learning as I go. And now that I'm learning, I'm doing things to be more effective. So something that I learned was, number one, not everyone sees every post you post. So posting up to 4 times a day is actually really helpful. I was very uncomfortable. I was very much like, these people are going to think I'm so annoying. I'm blowing their feeds up with roofing. But guess what? If you saw my DMs, Jack, of the people who are going out of their way to refer me and are thinking of me, it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I kind of just decided to not let that feeling be a truth for me. People have the ability to unfollow. What's happened as a result is the opposite. The following is there. I am strategic. I do try to break up roofing family. I notice what people like to see. And so I try to be strategic while maintaining my authenticity.
There you go.
My life,
that's a perfect line. Oh my God, I love that. Yes.
I mean, but that's what I'm doing, you know? I mean, there's no filter now. What you see is what you get. I'm not trying to be this person that like my opinion is the end all be all. I try to make that disclaimer that all I am is a passionate woman who's experienced a lot of things. And I feel like I have a lot of insight to help people that might be struggling with similar things. So I don't care anymore about posting too much. And I've learned that the ROI is worth feeling uncomfortable of, am I bothering people? So that's that. Now the jackass thing, man, you must be reading my journal, because this is the thing that I've overcome so much. It's the hardest thing I'm struggling with right now. And it's what I know God is like, you need to get a hold of this, because I'm putting you with people that you need to be able to be offended, hear them talk stupid, and keep your mouth shut. And it's hard for me. It's hard. But I think you're right, because it's like, what's more important? And there's circumstances that measure. This is not an absolute statement, but as a general practice, what's more important? Me being right, or me staying in a position where what I have to offer big picture is received by these people?
Right.
So it's hard because I'm passionate, I'm opinionated, I have the justice in me. But yes, I got to keep it reeled in, because I'm here for a reason, and I can't be so loud that people can't hear me based on my stupid opinions too.
Right. You feel social media is hard because it's a lot of fake BS.
Yes.
And I know this may sound, I feel I've earned a voice.
Is there something else I can help with?
It's my
Siri.
Apple. Sorry.
No, Siri.
I feel, this may sound conceited and arrogant. But I've actually feel I've earned a voice in our platform through the SVGs, SRCs, and I've taken some lumps and some hits, but at the same time, I feel I've earned a voice to kind of, I don't want to call people out per se, but at the same time, I have a torch that it's been placed upon us, and I feel I got to carry that, and like, hey man, we got to stop, we got to be better. And I think you're getting, if you're not there already, you're getting there as well, because a female roofer in this business with her head on her shoulders is you have a much harder path, because it's a male dominant asshole industry, right?
Yeah.
It's I have friends who are females, and some of the shit I see, I'm like, I'm gonna drive to somebody's house and beat their ass, because it should be, I can only imagine. So you have a much harder path, but at the same time you're earning your voice, and it's a huge responsibility, isn't it? Huge.
It is
huge.
It is. And I'm not this like holy roller. I talk a lot about the Lord, but just because that was my path. But that the only person I care about pleasing is God.
There you go.
And getting to a place where I realize that what's happening in my life is 100% a direct reflection of what he did in my life. It's very easy for me to be this voice. Like, I know I'm here for such a time as this. Roofing is just the vehicle for me to get ridiculous finances. It's just a vehicle. I'm here for a much bigger purpose. So it's not really been that hard for me. And I'm not saying that to sound conceited either, Jack. I hear a lot of, I know it's a male dominated world. Our industry. I'm not pretending it's not, but I don't know. I have not yet, or maybe I do, experienced much of that, but I just don't even pay attention. Like, it just doesn't even impact. Like,
good.
What I'm here for is not, it's
right. No, it's perfect. Yeah, you got to tune that shit out, because it's or it'll drive you insane, right? There's
a lot of people that don't. I hear things, and it's okay. There's people that are judging, like, she's on a panel, she's only been here. People don't know my life. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. Just because now the product is roofing,
right? And
guess what? If you think that what makes your business successful is how well you know just your product, you're in trouble, because you and I both know it's way beyond that. So I don't get intimidated easily, and it's probably not a good thing, honestly. But it's how God made me.
I disagree with that. I mean, because you're so focused on what you're doing, I don't think the outside crap affects you. That's a perfect world, right? Because it's only pressures from yourself, right?
That would be correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to say it. I'll take it. Right. I'll take that.
Woo!
I'll take it.
How do I get one of those hats, Heather?
Oh, you better believe you got a hat. Listen, I have, what do you like, a flat bill or a regular bill?
I'm a flat bill guy.
Oh, okay.
I gotta hide the forehead, so whatever works with that.
I'll definitely get you a hat. That's no problem at all.
So what do you see yourself in the next couple of years? I mean, what's next, Matt? Because you to your credit, you've accomplished a hell of a lot in a short period of time.
Thank
And
you.
now the hard part is you're assimilating to the top, and people are gonna start shooting and shooting and shooting, which is fine. Fuck them, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't care. Like I'm gonna keep doing my thing. We're a good business. We're gonna do what we need to do. Is there something else you're looking at, or you feel, or what's next, man?
There's a lot, because I got into this not knowing what the industry had to offer and what avenues were available. I'm like really kind of paying attention. I'm learning the who's who. I'm learning about adjusting. I'm learning the people that I can actually align myself with that are doing the right thing, that can help me. But, I think now I'm super laser focused on team building and getting the right people in place so that we can duplicate what I've done on the residential side, so that my focus can now develop commercial opportunities. I know, and they're coming, but I'm also being very intentional. I'm not trying to bite off. I have a large network of people. And so I could do a lot more than I'm doing, but I've already been there, done that. And I am not trying to get too big for my britches. I am not ready for a lot of the things. So I'm trying to get my infrastructure shored up to make sure that we can handle everything. So what I'm focused on is the team that has organically come on board, getting the right systems in place so we can really scale this, so that residential can kind of be its own entity, nothing crazy, but running itself, so that the commercial opportunity can happen there. And then I'm learning, I'm learning about adjusting. I'm trying to figure out what makes the most sense for my family. My focus is building a legacy and generational wealth for my children. We are on our own. I am mom, I am dad, and it's all good, but I'm trying to create a life for my children so that they don't feel a lot of the things I felt and struggle with a lot of the struggles I did. And so whatever that looks like, it's going to happen.
I love that, man. I'm the same way. So we started this. Our intention was to build this thing in 5-7 years and sell it and go to an island and play golf, right? And then my kids started getting involved. I'm like,
cool.
Damn. There goes my golf game. Right. But two, it's a legacy thing now. I want this thing to go on forever. And Trev and his buddies who work here, and they've taken these reins and they're running faster than I could ever imagine, learning more. And they're actually such better people, than I was at 24. I was a disaster. Like, let's be real, right? These kids are amazing and they're learning and they're getting it. So we've changed our business model 180, where I'm going to step back in 4 or 5 years. We have some other stuff brewing that I'm going to take a hold of, and they're going to run this freaking business, right? And then 20 years from, like, that's I got chills right now because it's so freaking cool.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, very cool, right? And that's, at the end of the day, man, what could be better where your kids learn and they just keep the momentum building and become. My kids are much better people than I ever was.
Thanks.
I mean, thank God. Number one, thank God.
Thank God.
Right? Good.
How old are your kids?
Trevor's 24 and my daughter's 22, Hunter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I seen the pictures, and that was something I really appreciated about you guys and how you operate. My oldest son is 20, Carter. He is going to school to be a pilot. He works for me he's my like quality manager on build. He's shifting. He sees it. I'm trying to also not force it on them, but when they realize the money side and that's what motivates them, and they see the opportunity that they could literally step into, I'm hopeful that will be. But I love seeing your kids involved. It is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's fun, man. And like I said, it's, they don't, like, they're starting to realize, like, oh shit, dad works like 70 hours a week. Oops. we thought it was all just vacations and Ritz-Carltons and really cool events in Miami. And we get to go on really cool buildings. And that's like 1/10 of 1% of what we actually do. Right. And they're like, oh shit, but they actually enjoy it. And my daughter's going to law school this fall. So you can imagine in 3 years, she'll be soon living the hell out of State Farm and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so good. You got your own in-house team.
Exactly. Yeah. So, no, it's cool. And that's the legacy thing is just, I never really wanted that until about the last year and a half. So it's changed and it's given me more purpose. I'll tell you that 100%. Like, money is whatever, easy comes, goes up, down. But the legacy thing, it's such a responsibility now. And it's actually made me a much better business person and mentor and I still lack a ton of patience, but I'm getting better with that. But you know what I mean? So it's created more of a thing. Does that make sense?
It does. That's so great. I love to see it. It makes my heart because that's what it's about. That is what it's about. We work hard. We work really hard. Our kids are super privileged, super blessed. And then they realize what's attached to that, and it's not just fun and games, but hey, we work hard. We get to play hard too. And I think it's a beautiful thing to teach kids at a young, can you imagine finding this and being like a level-headed, right head on your shoulders at freaking 24 years old?
That's what, and they're still trying to, they don't see it fully, which there's no way they can. But if I can run the clock, I mean, all this stuff, time, money, energy I wasted. Oh my God.
I know.
But that's all right. I wouldn't be where I am now with all that crap. So
yeah, same. It's all part of it.
Well, Heather, you could go back. This is a hard question. So
yeah,
I don't want you to change anything, but if you had to go back 20 years and grab yourself and say, all right, girl, here's some advice. What would you want to tell a young Heather about 20 years? Once again, you're not going to change anything, but you could give your young self some advice. What would that be?
Yeah, it would be, I would talk specifically about people caring what people think about you. I would talk to myself about understanding the value of being who you are, because being who you are is enough, and not looking right or left and comparing yourself amongst other people, because guess what? You're never going to perform like them, which means you're never going to feel happy. And that just compounds problems. So, worrying about what people think is a huge one for me. The other one, what's that?
That's great.
And the other one would be, thinking things were more important than they really are. So many situations in my life where I let my emotions take me completely out of the game because I thought it was the end. I mean, look at the part where I was in a freaking psych ward. I literally thought I had nothing positive to contribute to this world. Crazy. So having an understanding or an outside voice to help you understand that things aren't, and I'm not minimizing problems or minimizing experience, but most of the time, those things that we think are so debilitating, life-ending, they're just a thing that we got to get through. And so hard things are necessary. You just got to walk through the hard thing to get to. So that would be a huge, huge thing, I would say.
Woo!
Yeah.
Heather Hitchcock, your motivational speaker of today. That's awesome. Good job. I'm very proud of you. And I do know your past, and it's a 1 in a million shot where you're at, and you got to be very proud of that, because the people I've seen don't make it out of that. And all the credit to you and your heart and your soul and your purpose, all that cool stuff. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. So I
appreciate it. It's really nice to hear from people like you, and it feels good to be seen and heard from, people in the industry like yourself. So I just really appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing.
Sure. You got it. How do people get a hold of you, and where's you guys are in Houston, right? So we're in Houston.
Yeah. So our website is royalroofingoftexas.com, and we are in the greater Houston area. We've just reached new territories in Austin and San Antonio. Nice. And I am on Facebook, Instagram, Heather Hitchcock. Some people Heather Shitcock, they say, from the reel, if you saw that. But yeah, I'm on all the socials. You can find me there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Be
Appreciate
authentic.
You.
Keep beating ass. Don't listen to people when they say no. Just keep doing what you're doing. So I can tell you from the Facebook family you're in, we appreciate you. Just do your thing. And thanks for coming on today. It was pretty cool. We have a lot of energy. That's great. So
it was awesome. Thanks for having me, Jack. I appreciate you.
All right, guys, because experience matters. Another episode wrapped up. Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon. We're on all those cool platforms. So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Because Experience Matters podcast. That's all for today's show. If you want to learn more or work with Jack in person, visit www.thejackhanks.com. Oh, and don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify to continue to grow the podcast and change the industry.